if we have a face-to-face cafe, then what you'll find is there'll just be an open welcome. You know, you come in, there's coffee and tea and cakes and savouries and what have you. And there's people, we never know who's going to come. And I always say to Shelley, my wife, I'm not sure if anyone's going to come. And she said, well, it doesn't matter if anyone comes, you have to go because you've got the
Yeah.
keys to open up. So, you know, I sit there thinking I could just be sitting here looking at my phone for 2 or 3 hours. But then people come, you know, they turn up and it's like a normal cafe. They just sit around. Sometimes we have a point to the evening, so we might have a talk, but we normally we have it between 7 and about 9:30, 10. And so usually from 7 till 8, it's kind of milling around, networking, chatting time. People just, I mean, we've got volunteers that make sure that if someone looks like they're sitting on their own, you know, we will sort of include them and draw them into a conversation. But it's not heavy. And then we might have, you know, something going on that evening. So we might have a talk from someone. We used to have a guy called Phil who was a bass player, musician. Sadly, he passed away recently, and it's his funeral on Monday. But he would talk and play his music. He played with he was a session musician for all the greats. So he's, you know, been on The Lion King and with Robbie Williams and The Who, and so he had great stories to tell about his addiction and his recovery and his life on the road. We had a series called An Evening With, and we would get someone who'd maybe been through adversity and come out the other side, or someone who's had an interesting life to give a story. We had a guy called Chris Lambriano speak. He did 15 years for being involved in getting rid of the body of Jack the Hat McVitie for the Cray twins, which were East End gangsters over here. And he knew them personally, and he's helped a lot of people in addiction. Yeah. So he would come and give his story, other people. And we'd also, on the evenings that we do the face-to-faces, we'd also give people an opportunity to share. So we'd have an open mic section in the evening where people could get up, and if they wanted to tell a little bit of their own story, they could. And that would be it. You know, we'd tidy up and we'd be home by 10, sort of thing.